Hey, so hopefully when you looked at those, the collection of some of my photos, and these are the these are the gems of this is what I do. And hopefully what you'll want to do, if you even like them, or if it makes sense to you that this is different, and that these kind of photos do make sense for online dating. Only these photos, like it makes, if you get it, that, oh yeah, I get a sense of just being with the person, like that smile on Michael. I can feel him. I feel like I'm right there. And in the cafe, I feel like I'm right there. And so by having that initial feeling, it just matters a lot with online dating to bring somebody forward in that process of exploring a potential relationship with somebody. And that's the purpose of online dating, right? So, but there's a lot of different emotions there. So there's a lot of stuff in all those photos, but the bottom line quality is they're revealing a real sense of a person, a real emotional quality of a realness, genuineness, aliveness that somebody could connect with, can feel like they're looking at a real person and being, like I wonder what it's like to be that person. That thought is an easy thought to have. It's not, well, I see what they look like, but who the heck knows? Let's maybe go on a date, I guess, but I have no clue what they're like. Zero. But there's something about these photos that you almost feel like you do have a sense of what they're really like it's what it's like to actually be with them. Okay? But there's a lot of variety in those photos. It's not just a smile. It's not just happy. It's different. There's intimacy. There's all the various things that I kind of just went over. And I'm doing this. I'm going to do that next. So I'm going to I'm going to splice that in. So actually haven't done that yet, but you'll get it. Like there's a lot of variety there, right? So how do you do that? Like, how do you get that, both the variety and just the genuineness? How do you accomplish that? So there's two pieces to how I accomplish that. It's it's like distraction, reaction. There's a bunch of different tools to get somebody to emote, to be real, to be in the moment of something genuine. Even though they're looking at you, right? They're looking at you, the photographer, and oh shit, he's gonna take my picture, yikes. So how do you go from that to being in a moment of playfulness, And I'll just demonstrate just some reality, so hopefully you can just see what I'm talking about. See if you can see that in that in that collection of craziness, there's something real. Like even right now, that smile was real until I'm now conscious, and now it's no longer real. I can do that, but what you just saw was genuine. So what if you could have captured that smile while I was just having fun, right? I thought of something funny. I thought of me being an idiot, and here it goes again. This is real for a second, for just a second, less than a second, actually way less than a second, a microsecond. So how do you capture that? So the two pieces of one is to instigate in various ways an emotional response or distraction, like letting somebody even go talk about what might inspire them, or it could be conversation or reaction to something, or maybe you're just noticing that they're doing something that, oh my God, when they do that, something's there, something real is there. So it's even just noticing, observing, and then, oh, can you do that again? And can you do that again? And somehow the one action could work. And then there's motion is a part of it. Getting somebody to move even back and forth, anything, even looking down and looking up, looking down and looking up. In that moment of connection, there's something different. It's something real. I'll do it again. Closing my eyes, then looking at you. That first little moment just feels a little bit different to me. And so you can find things. So it's just observing, finding, trying things. So I'm going to have a whole list of tricks of things to do, but also it's on you just to notice what you're seeing in your client that they're doing naturally, by the way. Sometimes I noticed this one time, the guy was taking off his sunglasses, right? And it was like, holy cow, I have no idea why or what, but there's something about that. So I just asked him to do it over and over again, right? And then there's, like with Michael, actually with all the different pictures, often it's just like a reaction doesn't happen. Like even I'm going to do something crazy, and this will be partly you'll be doing crazy things or asking the client sometimes to do crazy things. Just watch me for a second, you know, woo, right? And in there, again, if you had captured that smile that just happened but now is gone, right? It's a beautiful moment, right? And it's not rocket science, but right there was a beautiful moment of joy, of happiness, of But there was also it went from nothing to explosion, and then it calmed down, and maybe you don't want a ecstatic joy photo. You want just a pleasantness, but the pleasantness was down there somewhere. So how do you? So there's this combination of what we're gonna do, doing something, facilitating something, just observing something that will happen to get somebody not aware of the camera and in their own genuineness, right? Something's going to happen. We have a lot of various things, but it's going to be a thing. It's going to be a thing that's not a second that you can predict. It's going to be a few seconds, 5 seconds, 2 seconds, whatever it's, but it's going to be an event, right? We're going to manufacture moments or events, right? But to capture them, here's the tricky thing. It requires high volume shooting. And that's the essential pieces of it. So it's discovering, creating, eliciting, causing some reaction, some natural thing where you and the camera are not part of their awareness for that moment, and then shooting like hell during that time. So part of it is to be on burst mode, because my belief is there's so much subtle stuff in there that there's absolutely no way I can predict it. And that's why I really wanted to, in the intro video, I wanted to be clear that this might go against your grain if you're a professional photographer. And I've done this for a long time, because part of being a professional photographer for many are you've learned when to click. You've learned when to predict the click, to click in the right time, and you're really happy with, wow, I don't have to, I can choose exactly and get it right when I click. And, maybe you've heard this, spray and pray. Like, it's a put down for photographers that do this, that just take a lot of pictures and hope for the best. And in some ways, that's what I'm telling you that you have to do. So that's why I wanted to in the pre-video, in the first video, let you know that if you're not willing to try something new, if you're too proud of yourself as a photographer, this wouldn't be the right course for you. But an essential part of this course is to spray, is to put your camera on a high burst mode, not over the top high, but a pretty high, medium, even burst mode. So there's multiple clicks happening within seconds. So within a few seconds, you'll be able to capture that wave of emotion, right? And there's no way of predicting. There's absolutely no way of predicting what's what, because it's impossible. You don't know. You have no clue. And don't pretend you do, because you don't. So there's going to be a gorgeous shot in the middle there, but you have to shoot through it to later on discover which one was it. And so that's 2, right? Distract, react, some way of getting somebody in their emotions, high volume shooting. And the other part, which might cause somebody some anxiety, is, holy shit, I don't want to have to sort through all those photos. Like, part of the advancement that of me knowing I could click well and predict a click, is that I don't have to sort so much. And sorting sucks. Maybe you're thinking sorting sucks. I have to compare one and this, or which one's better, blah, blah, blah. It's a thinking process. You have to figure it out. It takes a long time, right? Wrong. So, well, not wrong, but the only way this whole thing works is using a very different sorting system, a different sorting mentality, gestalt of what you're doing when you're sorting. You're not comparing image to image to decide which is best. You're not doing that. So there's a software we'll put in the link, and you'll even getting a little discount code if you want to get it. But if you buy it, but there's actually just a free trial version first, and I'm not making any money off of this. But it just makes the sorting so much quicker. And part of the sorting, the essential part of the sorting, It's not thinking. It's you as a photographer. You're emotionally selecting. And actually, if it's for online dating, it's good to get in that head of online dating, of not, you're imagining you are looking for a fit. You're not the photographer. When you look through, we'll have a whole section on sorting. And I'll make it really clear and really easy, but the end result, it's fast. You can sort through 1,000 photos in 10 minutes, right? Because you click, 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 you're moving, and I'll show you, you're moving, you're advancing the photo, and then you're selecting the ones that hit you, that have an impression on you, not thinking, and then you're just continuing, select, and it's just a fast thing because you're just feeling it out. It's based on feeling, not thinking, and it's fast. It still is a pain, but it's quick, and it's not what you might think. So the whole threesome of distracting, reacting, shooting, and sorting all work well together, and that's the foundation of this whole thing, to capture that genuine moments of feeling of connection, of allowing the potential person online to connect with the client, is because we're capturing them in the moment of something really genuine. Even if you're contriving this thing, it still is genuine, because in that moment, it's not relevant what happened. Like, you're really in a moment. It is. You are. There's no way of reaction. You can't control reaction. Reaction happens, right? So that's what we're capturing, purity. We're capturing pure truth of the person in an instant, and we have an easy system to do it. And that's what mostly we're going to be learning. And there's also how to get particular emotions, because part of it is eliciting certain particular emotions, and there's ways of doing that. So it's not all just happy, smiley. What about pride? What about sensuality, connection, femininity, strength, just contentedness? There's different things. What about, there's a photo I need to have from every, woman I shoot. She's just a regular girl shot. What the heck does that even mean? So I know guys get intimidated by somebody, is too X, Y, or Z. But what if there's a photo that makes it seem like, oh yeah, I can hang out with her? And it's a particular photo and I need to get it. And all these things, I need to get that, I need to get to that, to have the end result be a collection of photos of this person's life, right? That seem like they're from their life, but they're not. They just were taken an hour and a half, and they represent different parts of who they are, especially certain parts that would be important for online date, for a person looking for romance, looking for love. What are the pieces that could work? And we're going to be shooting so many. And part of what I deliver is a lot of photos, so there's a lot of variety for the person to choose from too. And they can decide, do I want this or this and this? But there's a lot to choose from. I said a lot right now, but that's the trifecta thing. It's like distracting, reacting, getting something happening, shooting, and sorting all together work to make this thing work. But then there's lots of other pieces of where to shoot, how to shoot, that we'll go into. And we're going to go into each of these pieces too. And clothing is another piece. But we're going to go through all the different pieces one at a time, and you'll be practicing and learning how to do them. And this is just a little tiny intro to just the basic concept of what we're doing. And then we're going to break it all down. A collection of photos that seem like they're from their life. How the heck do you do that in an hour and a half? Photos that seem genuine and real and connecting. Somebody could connect. That's what we just talked about. How do you do that? How do you sell it? How do you sell a photo so somebody thinks they're not photogenic? That sounds tough. And also the part I mentioned in the beginning that I just love so much about, how do you communicate with somebody in positive ways that they feel good about themselves without it being like without it being weird. So it could be weird, but it's not. But it doesn't, it's really not to do that. But, how do you make sure it's comfortable? Lots of things. So I'm really looking forward to having you part of this. But we're going to start with the first piece, is that trifecta: cause something, shoot like crazy, and sort. And then we'll do that as one at a time. Take care. See you in the next video. See you next video. And there'll be lots of homework too where you can stop. Please stop. When I say stop, please do what I say to try these things out. Don't just watch it. It's really about action and getting comfortable with these things. Some of them are kind of nuts. And I want you to be really comfortable. By the time you